Move, cripple. The cruel words cut through the ocean breeze at Santa Monica Pier like a knife. Tourists laughed and children clutched cotton candy. But in that moment, everything froze for 15-year-old Emily. She sat in her wheelchair, her small hands gripping the armrest tightly as three boys, loud, smirking, and merciless, kicked at her chair, jolting her body forward. Emily wasn't used to being invisible. She wasn't used to the stares. But she was used to cruelty. Ever since the accident 3 years ago, a drunk driver smashing into her family's car, her legs hadn't moved. The doctors said she should feel lucky to be alive. But what was luck, Emily thought, when every day reminded her of what she'd lost? Her mother had brought her to Santa Monica Pier that afternoon, hoping to distract her from the endless therapy sessions, hoping the sun and sea would lift her spirit. But instead of joy, Emily was met with mockery. "Move, cripple!" One boy sneered again, giving her wheelchair another kick. People passed by, some whispering, some shaking their heads, but no one stepped in. Not yet. Emily's mother, Maria, rushed toward her, panic and anger flashing in her eyes. But before she could reach them, something unexpected happened. The low, rumbling sound of engines echoed down the boardwalk. At first it was just one biker, then two, then 20. A sea of black leather jackets and chrome machines roared into view, parking their bikes in a thunderous line. Every head turned. The bullies froze. The leader of the pack, a tall man with a gray beard, tattoos running down his arms, and a calm but commanding presence, stepped forward. His jacket read, "Guardians Brotherhood." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, his voice deep and steady. The bullies, suddenly pale, stammered. We were just joking." "Does that look like a joke to you?" the biker asked, his eyes narrowing on Emily's tear-streaked face. For the first time in months, Emily felt something she thought she'd lost forever: safety. These bikers, strangers with intimidating appearances, stood like a wall between her and cruelty. One of the bikers, a woman with fiery red hair, knelt beside Emily and said softly, "You don't ever let words like that define you, sweetheart. You're stronger than they'll ever be." The bullies ran off. The crowd clapped. But for Emily, it was more than a moment of justice. It was the beginning of a transformation. In the days that followed, Emily couldn't stop thinking about the bikers. Who were they? Why had they helped her? Her mother explained that the Guardians Brotherhood was a motorcycle group known not for violence, but for kindness. They often visited hospitals, raised money for kids in need, and defended those who couldn't defend themselves. Emily wanted to thank them, so her mother contacted the group through social media. A week later, they invited her to one of their charity rides. Emily was nervous. She imagined rows of tough men and women, all leather jackets and loud bikes. But when she arrived, they welcomed her with open arms. "Hey, little warrior," the gray, bearded leader said, giving her a smile that softened his rugged face. "We're glad you're here." For the first time since her accident, Emily didn't feel like a burden. She didn't feel broken. She felt part of something bigger. But the journey wasn't easy. Emily still struggled daily with her pain, both physical and emotional. School was a battlefield of whispers and side glances. She dreamed of walking again, of running down the pier like she used to. She tried therapy, but progress was slow. Sometimes she wanted to give up. One afternoon, after a particularly difficult session, Emily broke down. "Why me?" she cried to her mother. "Why do I have to be the one in this chair? Why can't I just be normal?" Her mother hugged her tightly. "Normal is overrated, baby. You're extraordinary. And one day, you'll see how this chair doesn't limit you. It gives you a strength most people will never know." The words didn't sink in right away. But slowly, with the support of her mother and her new biker family, Emily began to rebuild her confidence. Months passed, and Emily joined the bikers at events. They gave her a special leather vest with the words, "Little Guardian," stitched on the back. The first time she wore it, she cried. It wasn't just clothing, it was a badge of belonging. The challenges continued. Bullies didn't disappear. At school, a group of kids mocked her again, this time recording it on their phones. But instead of shrinking back, Emily lifted her chin. "You think I'm weak," she said, her voice shaking but firm. "I've survived more than you can imagine. What have you done except make fun of people braver than you?" The room went silent. For the first time, the bullies had no comeback. The next weekend, the bikers organized a ride for children with disabilities. They gave Emily the honor of leading the parade, her wheelchair strapped safely to a custom-made sidecar. As the engines roared and the crowd cheered, Emily felt the wind on her face, tears streaming down her cheeks. She wasn't invisible anymore. She wasn't broken. She was flying. Tutti, the story of the little guardian, spread across social media. People around the world were inspired by her courage and the kindness of strangers who became family. Emily learned that strength isn't measured by legs that walk or run. It's measured by the heart that refuses to quit. By the end of that summer, Emily's life had changed forever. She still had her wheelchair, but she also had her pride, her voice, and her army of protectors. If you're watching this story right now, remember Emily's lesson: never let cruelty define you, and never underestimate the power of kindness. What do you think about Emily's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you believe in spreading love over hate, subscribe to my channel. Be kind always, for more powerful stories that remind us of the good in this world. Because kindness is stronger than cruelty, and together we can be the guardians this world needs.